Good morning, good morning, fathers of daughters. This is Efrem Martin, and welcome to another live stream at Grow Dad YouTube channel. All fathers are welcome, regardless of your ethnic group, background, and or culture. Mi amigos, bienvenidos. Aquí, hoy, gracias. All right, fathers, we are back for another live stream today at Grow Dad YouTube channel. Today, fathers, what we're going to be discussing is taking accountability for our daughters. Taking accountability for our daughters, fathers. That's what we're going to be discussing today. I have 3 great videos, fathers, that I want to share with you. Fathers, when I speak about taking accountability, what am I talking about? I'm talking about fathers being a part of their daughters' lives. Birth to 18 years of age, what our responsibilities are, birth to 18 years of age, fathers, and what could possibly happen to our daughters if we are not a part of their lives, birth to 18 years of age. That's right, fathers. A lot of things can happen to our baby girls if we are not present, if we are not available, if we are not directly involved in their rearing. Things can happen to our baby girls, fathers. Fathers, whether we are married or divorced, we have to ensure that we maintain a great relationship with our baby girls. In order for us to build long-term sustainable relationships with our baby girls' fathers, we have to be a part of that rearing, birth to 18. So fathers, when I'm talking about taking accountability, I'm talking about we have to ensure that they don't end up in the educational system being kicked out of school, being disciplined at school, getting referrals in school, being behavioral problems in school. We have to ensure that they don't end up being a part of the criminal justice system as well, fathers. We have a lot of huge responsibilities with our baby girls' fathers. We have to direct them. We have to look out for them. We have to ensure that we are always providing protection and safety for them, fathers. Because if we don't, things will happen. Things can happen, and they will, fathers. So these 3 videos that I'm going to share with you today, fathers, they're great videos, okay? I want you to be able to process these videos I'm sharing with you, fathers. And if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, feel free to leave comments, and I will share your comments on my YouTube channel, fathers, okay? When we take accountability for our daughters, fathers, we are not blaming their mothers, right? We are taking 100% responsibility and accountability for them, fathers. Because if we're not there and things happen to our baby girls, it is 100% on us, fathers. We do not, and I repeat, we do not get to blame their mothers. It is not their mother's sole responsibility for the rearing of them. Now, you know, we have a lot of fathers out there today because I participate in a lot of man's groups, and I get a lot of pushback from a lot of different fathers from all ethnic groups. A lot of fathers tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Some fathers tell me that I'm judging them. Some fathers don't want to participate in these men's groups. Well, don't come to the men's groups if you don't want to participate in them. If you are not looking to become a better father, why would you participate in a men's group? Men's groups can only help fathers become better fathers, right? A lot of times, fathers, we just don't have all the answers. But the one thing I can promise you, being the father of 4 adult baby girls, 36, 30, 26, and 24, rearing my daughters, giving them the best of me, making sure they were always protected and safe. My baby girls are all amazing adult women in their professional careers. They're great women. I am so proud of all my baby girls. So fathers, I've been through every stage of development, birth to 18 years of age. The relationship that I have with my adult daughters, I'm loving every minute of it because they're adult women. So now I get to enjoy what I put in them. And they validate everything that I put in them, fathers. So accountability, fathers, for our daughters. We have to take it, right? And like I said, we cannot blame their mothers. When situations happen with our baby girls, if we are not present, birth to 18 years of age, and they end up in a crisis, fathers, that is 100% on us. We don't get to beat up their mothers, and we don't get to talk bad about their mothers. Because if we're not a part of their life, fathers, that's on us. It is. And a lot of fathers, a lot of men struggle with that because they want to point the finger. Not good. Not good fathers. Okay, fathers. So I want to get into these videos. All right? Please, fathers, have an open mind. Have an open spirit. Be objective. And let's take accountability for our daughters. My book, Daddy's Girls, is available at Amazon.com, fathers. Feel free to purchase it. My book will make a lot of sense because it's complementary with my live streams and my videos that I upload. So I would encourage you to get my book, fathers, as well as use these free live streams as education, information through instruction, fathers. I welcome you all. Okay, fathers, let's get into these videos. Okay, fathers, this is video number 1.
The most common story I tend to hear from conflicted youth is that they're raised in a single family home, usually with a mom. Dad is either on the picture, an alcoholic, whatever. So we have this child who is trying to seek ways to make himself healthy and empower himself in the ways that a healthy father should have done so, between the formative years of like 1 to 4. So I think you know where I'm going with this. Let's say for someone who's born without like a good father figure, where would they go out in the world, or like what spheres of influence would they try to expose themselves to like gain access to that fountain of health and knowledge that a good father figure should have provided them to in the first place?
Okay, well, partly, certainly to some degree, a good mother can provide that, right? To some degree. Although it's hard for one person to be everything.
Right.
And I think one of the conundrums that face women, and this is a tough one, and this is why I think women are higher in trait agreeableness and higher in trait negative emotion, is that, the primary problem that a woman has with an infant is why not throw it out a window? Because it's very annoying, right? It's there all the time. It's constant demand. It's absolutely constant demand, tremendous dependency. And so a woman has to be tilted towards mercy. That's how it looks to me.
Right.
And especially it's so important during especially the first year when children are so unbelievably vulnerable. And so I think it's very difficult for women to be merciful like that and to make the shift to encouraging disciplinarian. I think that's a very difficult thing for people to do simultaneously. Although, people, I'm not saying that women are always only merciful and men are always only encouraging disciplinarians, but things do sort themselves out to some degree like that. And I think also the biochemical transformations that accompany pregnancy and childbirth and lactation also tilt a mother towards that as well. Right. She has to really love that little thing, right? It's number one, no matter what it demands. And then telling it what to do and making sure it's behaving properly, that's a whole different issue. Now, but the kids who lack fathers, first of all, they can find that to some degree in their friends. Okay. And that's often what fatherless boys do in particular. They go into gangs and they generate the missing masculinity in the gang. Well, that's not so good because like, what the hell do they know? Yeah. They don't know anything, right? They're just stupid kids and they're like 15 years old and their testosterone is pumping and they're trying to get the hell away from their mother, which is what they're supposed to do. And they're not in the right position to exercise any authority over themselves. So that's not good. They can find it in education. They can find it in books. They can find it in movies. They can find it in sports heroes and so forth, because the image of the father is fragmented and distributed among the community. Okay. But it's very, very difficult to not have a father. Right. And one of the things that we're doing in our society, which I think it's absolutely appalling, is that we're making the case that all families are equal. It's like, sorry, no, wrong. And there's no empirical data supporting that proposition, by the way. It's much better for kids to have 2 parents. Okay. Now, who those parents are, that's a whole different issue. But.
Okay, and if I could just add one more thing. How would you answer that question to, let's say, a daughter who was raised without a father? Because she would obviously have different ways of finding those fragments of her missing father than like a boy would instead. Because obviously they're raised differently. At least they should have been.
Well, I think it's the same issue. I think that another danger that emerges, and this is Freud's, of course, famous observation, is that if there's mom and child or father and child, that relationship can get a little closer than it should.
Okay.
And then the lines get blurry and mixed. And I'm not saying that that happens to everyone, obviously, but it's still a danger that's inherent in the situation. They're thrust together too tightly without sufficient resources.
Okay.
And so the responsibility has to be distributed more. And like, I really do think that it's the sign of the degeneration of a society when single parenthood becomes anything approximating the norm. It's not a good idea. And part of the reason I believe that, and I think this has to do with the overwhelming selfishness of modern life, is that marriage isn't for the people who are married. It's for the children, obviously. And like, if you can't handle that, grow the hell up. No, I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
Seriously. Once you have kids, it is not about you. Period. Now, that doesn't mean it isn't about you at all. But that just seems so self-evident to me. I can't believe that anybody would even question it.
Oh, it's been questioned.
Oh, yes. Well,
horrible.
I'm certainly aware of that. Yes, it's questioned. It's almost illegal to question it now. You know, or illegal to make the set of propositions that I'm making. So that's the best I can do.
Yeah,
with
no,
that.
that's
What kind of relationship do you have with your father? Your real father? It's often ambivalent, right? Because there's an element of him that encouraged you, hopefully, because without the encouragement of your father, man, the world is a dismal place. It's very difficult to be a courageous person unless you have your father in body and spirit behind you. It's very demoralizing. Like, it really kills people not to have their mother. They just don't recover from that. But and I think people can recover from a fragmented father relationship, but it's the next worst thing. You know, because if your father rejects you or doesn't form a relationship with you, it's as if the spirit of civilization has left you outside the walls as of little worth. It's very difficult for people to recover from that. So the father should be an encouraging force, but can be a tyrannical and crushing force. And so that's a very difficult thing to get right, partly because if you're my son, then I should impose the highest standards of behavior on you. And I should always be judging what you're doing. I should be judging it with the aim of making the best in you come forward. But getting that balance exactly right is very difficult. And so it's easy for a father to swing too much into judgment, let's say. And then, of course, mothers can play this role too, to swing too far into the domain of judgment and to be too harsh. And to the degree that the father has his own pathologies, he's going to do that imperfectly. You know, he might be someone who's the father who devours his son because he's jealous of the new possibility, the new potential, the struggle for attention and love from the mother or from the other children in the family. There's all sorts of things that can go terribly wrong. So that's the father as wise king, and that's another symbol that's been lost, I would say, to a massive degree in modern universities, because all we're taught is to tear that down and to not even notice that it manifests itself everywhere, especially in the universities, which are like, they're as close to an ideal environment as human beings have ever been able to create. It's as simple as that. And if you can't be grateful for the structure of the university with all its imperfections, then you're completely blind to this element of the archetype. And that's the opposite of it. That's the son that devours, the king that devours his own son. That's a tyrant. You know, that's like the mother who's too overprotective. It's the male version of that. And the mother that's too overprotective says, I'll never let anything happen to you. It's like, well, maybe you actually want to have something happen to you. You know, it's a bit of an all-inclusive statement. It's like, no, I'm going to make you strong so any number of things can happen to you. And when you need some care, I'll be there. But otherwise, like, out into the world with you. That's the right attitude. And for the father, it's like, get your bloody act together. But I'm on your side. It's not because I want to destroy you or demean you or push you down in the dominance hierarchy, but because I want the best in you to emerge. And so you need standards. It's like, what are you doing wasting your life? There's way more than that to you. Get your act together and bring it out. And that's a message that people really want to hear if they have any sense at all. And generally they do want to hear it. So, you know, I've been talking to a lot of people recently, as perhaps you know, and I was talking to one of the leaders of the Conservatives this morning, and they're asking me about, the person was asking me about Bill C-16, but more specifically about talking to young people, because the Conservative leadership struggle is going on right now. I've been talking to a bunch of them, and I said, well, look, one of the things you could do for young people that no one's doing is to talk to them about responsibility, because everyone talks to young people about rights. It's like, we need our rights. It's like, oh God, how many rights do you need? You know, really, like, you have more privileges than any people who've ever lived anywhere. Well, it's so dull to hear that. It's so dull, it's so pathetic, and what would you call it, it's so demeaning that you have to be protected and have your rights. It's like I said, there's a huge marketplace for responsibility. That's what you want to talk to young people about. It's like, get your act together and do something worthwhile with your life. For the first time in my entire adult life, the Conservatives actually have something to sell young people, right? They can sell them responsibility. It's like, well, why? Because that's where life has meaning, with responsibility. The more responsibility you take on, the more meaning your life has. And the higher degree of responsibility that you agree voluntarily to try to bear, the richer your life will be. And no one's ever told that, and it's the case. You know, it's like you have 4 kids, say, well, that's plenty of responsibility. You're going to have meaning. It's going to be rough, you know, because it's complicated. You have a complicated job, and you try to help the careers of the people around you. You try to solve tough problems and aid suffering and do all of that. It's like, it's weight, it's responsibility, but there's glory in it. There's real glory in it. There's deep meaning in it. And young people are starving for that, because no one ever tells them that. It's like, you're way more than you think, man. Stand up, do something difficult and heroic, right? Burst out of your bonds. It's like, that's a good message. It's a necessary message, because we have to be more than we are, because if we aren't, we're not going to survive.
Okay, fathers, what are your thoughts? That is Jordan Peterson. And I respect Jordan Peterson. A lot of feminists have problems with Jordan Peterson. They think he's a misogynist, which I do not believe he is. Jordan Peterson is about solutions. And I believe that a lot of feminists have issues with him because he pushes back on feminists and feminism. So you see, he spoke about baby girls and baby boys. So that was an excellent video. Just wanted to share that with you. Grow that YouTube channel, Fathers of Daughters. We're all about education over here, right? I don't care where the solution comes from. I don't care if you're Black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American. I do not care. If you're about solutions, and I feel when I'm doing my research, I don't care where the solution comes from, because I'm all about solutions. Point blank, period. That's what I do here at Grow Down YouTube channel. That's how we get down. Okay? So I want to share that first video with you. Now, the next video I'm going to share with you, fathers, is it's talking about girls in gangs. A lot of fathers would never think that their daughters would join up in a gang. So I'm presenting this video because I'm a former state of Colorado juvenile probation officer. I worked in the criminal justice system for 20 years. And I share my experiences professionally with fathers, letting them know if their daughters end up in the criminal justice system, how it could escalate on them, how it could destroy the family by them being in the criminal justice system. Because if your baby girl's in the criminal justice system, the whole entire family is a part of the criminal justice system. That's just how it works. When you allow the government into your life, they make decisions that are not in the best interest of the family. That's just what they do. So this next video I'm going to share with you, fathers, is showing and talking about girls that involve themselves in gangs and how they end up in gangs, okay? So let me get it set up, fathers. Okay, fathers, this is video number 2.
Street Soldiers with Lisa Evers.
I'm so glad you're joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers on girls and gangs and female crime. Police and prosecutors are seeing a disturbing development in the city's gang shootings. For the first time, more of the trigger pullers and some of the leaders or shot callers are teen girls. But as recent cases show us, female crime fighters are determined to not only hold them accountable, but also show them a way out before it's too late. 19-year-old Brianna Portalatin, 8 months pregnant, was among other suspects brought out from a sort of criminal commune in a Bronx apartment. She was in handcuffs again. Police say it's her third gun arrest. What's going on here?
I love you, babe.
The expectant mom with a rap sheet is allegedly one of 20 members of the notorious Slaughtery gang, indicted in 14 shootings in the Fordham section of the Bronx. In our exclusive look inside the NYPD takedown, we learned she's not the only female alleged trigger puller. There's also a 15-year-old girl, shown here in silhouette, taking aim and firing. Then there's one of the gang's leaders, 19-year-old Nadine Asamoah, known as drill rapper Naybenz. Investigators say she was one of the leaders. We're racing to the precinct right now because so far this morning, the detectives have captured 8 subjects wanted in this case. Naybenz, police say you're a trigger puller. Police say you're a trigger puller. Is that true? What? Police say you're a trigger puller.
We saw three case members, which we've never had before, arrested. When you look at those 3 case members, total 5 trigger pulling incidents and 6 gun arrests amongst those 3 females. So we're seeing the violence, it's increasing, and it's concerning.
Female detectives are playing more prominent roles in the gun violence suppression division cases. Detective Lena Alexander and Detective Aaron Curry made history in May as the first female team to lead a gang takedown. For them, it's about having an impact on those they arrest and restoring safety to the community.
I was born and raised in East New York, Brooklyn, and it's very near and dear to my heart, and I just wanted to make a difference and making the streets hopefully a little bit safer.
Trailblazing Bronx DA Darcel Clark says there are many reasons why they're seeing girls get seduced by the gang lifestyle. That's why, in addition to prosecuting the cases, she also devotes her time and energy to prevention in the community to let girls know they have other options.
Some of them are afraid. Some of them are forced to do it. Some of them just, are curious. They like the bad boys, so they want to run in those circles to see what it's like. They may not necessarily be like that, but it's too late once you get caught up in it.
Poverty and unstable family and mental health issues are also factors, says clinical social worker Dr. LaShawn Paul, who treats teen girls at risk.
I personally don't believe that there's any specific diagnosis or things that you can look for, right? I think that the sooner that we get intervention for these girls, the better, before they become the lead, before they become the shooter.
Let's take this to our panel and find out what they have to say. Joining us is Detective Aaron Curry. She is with the NYPD's Gun Violence Suppression Division. She's a New York girl from East New York, Cypress Hills houses, and she's part of the all-female team that led one of the takedowns of one of the gangs that included female gang members. Detective Curry, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Also with us is NYPD Assistant Chief of Detectives Jason Stavino. He started the Gun Violence Suppression Division, has been responsible for taking down many of the most violent gangs in the city. And Chief Stavino, great to have you back with us.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to our dialogue.
Thank you so much. Also with us is Darcel Clark. Yes, that Darcel Clark, the Bronx District Attorney. She's been a trailblazer for women in law enforcement, a role model for many, very active in the community throughout her entire career. And but don't be fooled by the smile, because she's very tough on crime and putting the people responsible for causing terror and trauma in our communities behind bars and getting the right ones there. DA Clark, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me.
I appreciate it. I want to start with you, DA Clark, because you've been seeing this, and the Bronx has been an area where there's been a tremendous amount of activity with different forms of gangs. What do you see happening with girls?
It's unfortunate that we see so much violence happening in our community, and for it to now be seen as a problem with our young women is even a bigger problem for me, especially for me coming from the Bronx my whole life, growing up in New York City public housing. I'm from Soundview houses, so I know what it's like to grow up as a young Black woman in the Bronx. And it's unfortunate that I'm seeing so many young girls thinking that their only option is to turn to violence. There's so much hopelessness, and we need to turn that around. And as district attorney, every day I want to do all I can to help these young women, to let them know that look at me as an example and so many others in our community that can be an example to them, to let them know that they don't have to be trigger pullers, they don't have to hold a gun for guys, that they can lead. And I want to help them lead. I will prosecute them if I have to, but that's not what I want to do. I want to save them, and I want to see them live.
That's great. And Chief Savino, that you've led so many of these investigations, very complicated, long-term investigations into who are the active shooters or the trigger pullers, as you call them. Are there more trigger pullers who are girls or females?
Yeah, we've seen an evolution, you know, in our gangsters, particularly with females, you know, where we first started our cases, we didn't have any female case subjects, you know, and we've seen that evolution, you know, with the female gangster per se. Whereas first, females were really exclusively holders. You know, they were less likely to be approached by law enforcement. You know, they were basically holders of pistols and drugs. Because of that reason, now they've graduated to become shot callers. And we've even seen, as recent as this year, what are they doing? They're actually shooters. You know, and this is a phenomenon that we've really just seen this year. You know, evident most really from our last case, you know, that we did with the good Darcel Clark, we had three case subjects that were females. That's alarming.
Detective Aaron Curry, you grew up in East New York. There's always been violence and gang violence in that community as well. What made you feel so committed to put your own life on the line to save other people as a member of the NYPD?
Right. So growing up there, I just never felt safe, you know, even going to and from school, you know, I had to be really street smart at a very young age. And, you know, when I got older, if there was something I could do to make the community safer, you know, then I would do that. And that's been my goal ever since.
You're part of the all-female team that is leading some of these major investigations. What are you seeing with the girls? Are there certain types of girls? Are there girls from certain backgrounds or family structures, or girls that kind of slip through the system? What are you seeing?
So we are seeing very young females, as long with the guys, like we are seeing that age trend downward. So the same goes with the females. They're very young females. You know, at that age, women are, you know, naive. You're still figuring yourself out. And I think you're easily swayed. So maybe they may find a home, you know, with the guys. And, you know, females, I think they like sometimes the guy attention. Maybe they're getting that from the gang. And ultimately they're being used by the gang too, right? So a lot of times what I'm seeing from females is that, you know, they'll be friendly with the gang and then also friendly with the ops, right? With the rivals. And they'll pretend to be interested in maybe a rival gang member and DM them, set up a date, time, location, and then give that valuable information now to their gang so they'll have the drop on where the rival's at.
Don't go away. There's much more to come.
Prevention is very important. I want to stop these girls from even thinking that they should be involved in the violence in the first place.
DA Darcel Clark, why is that so important for you to really look at these girls that are in trouble and causing trouble from a holistic approach?
Because I think it's so important that they have to know that there's people that care about them, that want to see them succeed, and that there's options outside of violence. You know, as a district attorney, people always want me to come up with alternatives to incarceration. But for me, that's too late. It shouldn't be about incarceration. It should be alternatives to the violence. That means before they even do the act that's going to lead to something that eventually may be incarceration, that we stop them from dealing with the violence. Now, you know, these neighborhoods are unsafe, and I get it that sometimes young women or even some of the young men feel like they have to get involved in certain things for their own survival. You know, I know that exists, and that's why I've had so many different resolutions to how we deal with the prosecutions that we do have. So prevention is very important. I want to stop these girls from even thinking that they should be involved in the violence in the first place. And the way that has to happen is that we need more investments in our community. And thank God for NYPD and my partnership with them and Chief Savino and the detective here. The work that we do is invaluable in keeping things safe, but we can have safety and justice at the same time. So if we had prevention, if we had investment in our community so we could see these young girls where they are, meet them where they are, know that they don't have the resources, that the schools are not doing right by them, that some of them may need jobs. Some of them are young mothers. They're doing things to support their family. They have mental health issues, substance use disorder, they're addicted to drugs. All of those things may lead them into getting into this gang life, and then they can't get out. So I want to make sure that we invest in community so that we can do more to make them not get here in the first place.
And you're raising some interesting points, Detective Aaron Curry. Are the girls, like, do some girls get involved because they're afraid, or because maybe they're 14 and an older guy makes them feel protected, or buys them clothes, or takes them out to eat, or what kinds of things do you guys see in the course of your investigations?
I think it's all of the above. I think they're looking for friends. I think they're, making the wrong friends. A lot of times, like, it's also community based, right? A lot of these gangs, these smaller crews are territory based. So it may be the kids that she's going to school with, and peer pressure is real. And she may be, like I said, young and naive and easily swayed. It may be, financially, maybe they're supporting her, helping her get clothes, and she thinks that they're looking out for her, and she's getting involved that way. It could be, it's a multitude of things, really.
And then just to make them vulnerable. Chief Savino, when you see these girls, what do you think about them?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And for the most part, and we share the DA's sentiment. From an NYPD perspective, we want to prevent that as well. We have so many mechanisms in place to try to prevent it. We look at, our gangsters, right? And by the time they come into our cases, for the most part, it's too late. That they've already pulled the trigger numerous times, and that has to have consequence. But we look back, right? The number one reason, and this is from intel, this is from debriefing individuals, the number one reason that people join gangs is they lack that family structure. So how can we subsidize that? How can we help that individual? You talk about those 3 females, right? I'd like to go right to Nay Benz.
Yes.
Nay Benz was a trigger puller. Nay Benz had the world. Nay Benz was a drill rapper that had tens of thousands of followers, really had everything that people dream of. People looked up to Nay Benz, but Nay Benz got caught up in the gang life. And Nay Benz ultimately had to pay the consequence for that. To our young, aspiring drill rappers out there, especially females, don't become the next Nay Benz.
One of the women that came out was very pregnant, she looked like she was about 8 months pregnant. And inside the house, according to what the detectives were telling us, it was almost like a criminal commune. They had guns placed the way people might place candles or air fresheners or something. Aaron, does that surprise you when you hear about that?
It is very shocking, but unfortunately it doesn't surprise me, but I think it's, it happens by, the way they brought up, right? So them being there and being a product, unfortunately, of their environment. And what women need is, better mentors, people speaking life into them, and that early intervention, like DA Darcel Clark said, and people, we need it at like the junior high school level, because that's really where we're seeing the younger guys and girls getting involved in these gangs.
That female that was 8 months pregnant plus, that was her 3rd gun arrest. So, when you see things like that, right, the shock value, just tremendous. And that's someone that the neighborhood looked up to a certain extent. Why? They saw her in Nay Benz's drill raps and what have you.
I think what's going to happen now is that we're going to use them as examples now. So for the girls that are looking at them, we're going to say to them, this is not who you want to be.
Right.
Because look at the consequences. Look at what they're facing now. That's not what you want. And we have to show them options, that there's a better way of life. I'm going to handle what I have to handle with those young women and those other crew members that got arrested. They're going to be held accountable, but accountability is going to look different for every single person. What we have to do is not only try to do the prevention, I'm doing intervention. Even those people as horrible as some of the things that they did, I'm still going to look at them as individuals and see what can we do? What is justice going to look like in their individual case? And how does it impact the victims that they hurt, but most importantly, the community in which they live? I've gone out since those raids and those arrests. I can't tell you countless of residents that just came up and thanked me for finally doing something, telling me you got the right people.
Chief Savino, one of the cases that we were along for, I believe was in Brooklyn, one of the detectives said to me, one of the homes that they went into, he said the father, came up to him and said, "Take my son.
Yeah.
I can't do anything with him. We have tried everything." And they found a couple of guns like in sneaker boxes and stuff like that in the house. But what about the parents in all these situations?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to it. We have, unfortunate circumstances throughout, and every child, that ultimately is a victim of a shooting or is a shooter is a failure, right? On every end.
Detective Aaron Curry, do you feel as a female, as a woman in this field, you're bringing different resources, like emotional resources, or?
Oh yeah, because I think we just, as women, we bring a different perspective. We bring a different side. We may handle a situation differently. Me and my partner, we talk to everybody like a human because we're all human at the end of the day. So our approach, our tact, and the way we carry ourselves, and it's always worked for us. Anytime we talk to any of the gang members that were a part of our investigation, we talk to them, as a human, we try to get to know, like what happened, their upbringing, if they grew up with mom and dad, like maybe what led them down this road so we could really understand, why they chose this path.
Yeah, I think that we really do have to bring more empathy back into this. These young kids are doing this and they have no regard for human life. They don't understand that, they shouldn't look forward to only living up to age 18 or 19. They go to so many funerals. You know how many funerals and wakes and candlelight vigils I go to because of this thing happening? We really have to do better. They have to appreciate that life is precious and that they should want to live. That's what I want to instill in them, not jail and prison, but I'm going to send you there. If you make these choices, that's where it's going to happen. I don't want to, but I will.
Detective Aaron Curry, so in terms of these young people getting their hands on the guns, what have your investigations shown you?
So going back to the age, so the older guys usually in the gang, they've already done their work, right? They don't want to do it anymore. They're going to be facing charges as an adult. And the younger guys want to prove themselves, right? So they're getting these guns from the older guys. The older guys are willingly giving it to these younger guys and telling them, if you want to be in this gang, you have to go spin opposition territory, spin rival gang territory, and shoot an op. So that's also, and if you're a female, you may be put in that same situation. That's their ticket into the gang is what I'm seeing. And women, you'll either have to do that or they may force them to sleep with multiple guys in the gang.
And then for the girls, is there a certain pressure on them to prove like, I can be more violent than the guys, or I can be in some kind of perverse ranking system, D.A. Clark?
Well, you probably have some of that, but Lisa, look, as a woman, we know we go through that already, right? We go through that in legal circles. You're a woman, you got to show that you're 10 times better than men, and there's always that. So is some of that probably there? Yeah, maybe, but at the end of the day, it's the decision making that causes the problem. You need to know that you have choices, like the chief said. Choose better. Choose better. Use those powers for good. Like I have this pin on Black Women Lead. Like that's what I want the girls to be thinking about. Leading in a different way, not leading with violence, but leading with power. We need to empower them to let them know that they can be better than the men or anybody else if they set their minds to something that is positive.
That there's opportunities that are out there. And Chief, I want to ask you, why was it important for you to champion an all-female team to lead these investigations?
We see the extreme value in the female investigator. 1 out of every 4 of our members is a female. We're talking about the ultimate problem solvers, right? We can take so many different approaches. We can take that motherly approach. We can take that friend, compassionate approach. And we can also get gangster. Believe me, I know that, and truth be told, it takes away from that machismo attitude that's really been prevalent and our bad guys have seen for so many years. So that versatility, especially when it comes to interrogations, or sensitive cases, is just so paramount and so important. We see that, and it's worked investigation after investigation.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers on girls and gangs and female crime fighters. You can watch it again on our Fox 5 NY YouTube page and on the Fox Local app. Remember, use your mind is your best weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace.
Okay, fathers. Excellent video. What are your thoughts on that video, fathers? Because I'm going to give you mine, right? So, as a former criminal justice professional, 20 years, I look through a totally different lens, right? I understand what all these adults are talking about, the prevention. The greatest prevention that all of our baby girls have is their fathers, because their fathers provide protection and safety, right? So one of the things that gets lost in all of these discussions is we never talk about dads. We never talk about the importance of fathers and why it's necessary to have your father in your life with consistency, birth to 18 years of age. Because see, this is what happens. I want to explain something to you. One of the things I learned in the criminal justice system, being a former state of Colorado juvenile probation officer, I supervised baby girls 10 to 18 years of age. Okay? Hundreds over almost a 10-year period in which I was a probation officer, state juvenile probation officer. And I can count on one hand how many fathers I met in my office, how many fathers I saw in court. On one hand, in almost 10 years. But then these men have the audacity to talk about the mothers ain't shit. These men have the audacity to want to go in on the mothers of their daughters when they haven't been consistent or been a part of their lives. See, it's very easy to blame women, fathers, when we haven't done what we're supposed to do. It's very easy to point the finger. It's very easy to break mothers, fathers, when we haven't done what we're supposed to do as fathers. See, when our baby girls don't have protection and safety, guess what? The world's coming for them. It is. I'm not down with any of our daughters being in the criminal justice system, because the criminal justice system, as you can see through this video, will only make our baby girls worse. How are you 14 years old and you've had 3 guns in your possession? How's that possible? You know how that's possible? Your father. Right? We're not getting out of this one. We're not blaming the mothers here. Where in the hell are these fathers at? Unless your father is dead, I'm not trying to hear none of this. I'm not trying to hear the excuses, because see, these fathers are getting a pass. There are men that do not take care of their children. And what I call them, they're the low-hanging fruit of fathers. They're the low-hanging fruit in the communities because they don't give a shit about their children. So guess what these baby girls are doing? They're protecting themselves as best they can because their mothers are nurturers. Fathers bring protection and safety. It's that simple. So if your daughter ends up in the criminal justice system, that's 100% on dads. Okay? I didn't get lucky 4 times with my baby girls. I did not. I had to put in a lot of damn work, birth to 18 years of age. A lot of damn work. So when I hear fathers making excuses and talking shit about the mothers of their children, their baby girls, I have to fall back. And then I have to push back. because this is unacceptable. We never talk about the fathers. We always talk about these baby girls making better decisions. We always talk about getting more resources. Well, the greatest prevention is their father in their life, consistently birthed at 18 years of age. That's the greatest prevention that all of our baby girls have. So the low-hanging fruit men that have decided not to take care of their children, you don't get to blame their mothers because you're low-hanging fruit. That's what it is. That's what it was when I worked in the criminal justice system. That's what it was when I worked in K-12 education for a decade, for 10 years. Yes, I'm a former teacher, dean of students, restorative justice coordinator. Didn't meet many fathers in K-12 education either. So I'm not trying to hear the excuses. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Because let me tell you something. These baby girls, most of them have been sexually assaulted. Violence all around them. Little boys taking advantage of them and grown-ass men pimping them out. And we wonder why they're acting the way that they're acting, because there's no protection and safety for them. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not. I'm hard on fathers because it's bullshit with so many of these men that have decided to bounce for whatever reason. Criminal justice system is not the answer for our baby girls. It is not. Now or in the future. Process that. Okay, fathers, we have one more video, and then I will finish up this live stream. Let me get it ready.
They always putting up.
Okay, fathers, this last video, we're going to show two young women that are prostitutes. They started prostituting as teenagers. Once again, this can only happen if the father is not a part of their lives and providing protection and safety for them. This is what will happen. This is what can happen. See, I'm not making any of this up because I worked in the criminal justice system for 20 years. So I don't take kindly to any of this. Because these young women will have the demons they have to deal with for the rest of their lives. Because they were taken advantage of by men. Because their fathers did not protect them and provide safety for them. And they're in these positions, making the decisions because they were failed by their fathers and other men. That's what happened to them. So I don't make excuses about that. I know the sense of urgency that we must have for our baby girls. Okay, fathers, here's the video.
They always putting up on the blade talking about no condom. Like, who best to have sex with you with no condom? That don't even
The
make
guys
sense.
are always asking for that?
Yeah.
That's one of the main things they ask for.
Did you guys
For
ever?
$50, $60. Who's fucking for $50 or $60?
That's crazy.
Do you ever go for something like that?
No.
You just want something quick, easy, safe, and get your money and go.
Yeah. And you can not first we can't do nothing for $50, $60, $80. At least 120. 100 if it's a bad slow day.
What's the hustle? What do? You see a guy, or you guys are in the hotel room, so you're doing this online?
No, I'm on Fig.
Oh, you're on Fig.
We both on Fig.
Oh, you're both on Fig. Why are you in the hotel?
That's where we stay.
Oh, so you don't do any dates in the
We
room?
take our dates to the room, yeah.
Oh, you do?
But we meet the dates on Fig and then take them to the room and then we do the date and they take us back to Fig.
Oh, I see. And the hotels on Fig are no longer allowing people to come in?
Mm-mm.
So
Like
you-
the trick would have to get it like an hourly.
Yeah, so you guys
But-
have to drive a little further now.
Well, they're like fake way. Like sometimes they'll like get upset that we get a room, they won't sell it to us, but a client will come get an hour and they'll be like, okay. But just because they know it's a in and out type of thing. But yeah, it's a lot of, they don't want us walking out dressed how we're dressed. They don't want us, no visitors. They don't like the heels.
Yeah,
they don't
dressed the
like,
way you guys are, you're gonna get in.
yeah, they
A
get
lot of
so
eyeballs.
mad. Like you'll be there for one day in the morning. They're telling you to check out.
And then
'Cause-
you be like, why you got to check out? And they be like, oh, to clean the room. We only been here one day.
or say that like they won't tell us the truth, but we know. Or some of them will just be rude and be like, no,
We don't-
because you're naked. And I'll be like,
Yeah, but the hotel's on Imperial. You guys are on Imperial?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I've
They don't
driven-
mind. The hotel we are right now,
Yeah,
they don't mind.
I've dropped girls off to some of those hotels, and like they are packed with girls
Pimps, hoes, tricks.
doing what you guys are doing. Yeah.
Any hotel around here, pimp, hoes, tricks. That's all they live in there. Pimp, hoes, tricks.
Is
Or
that right?
smokers.
And smokers. And the smokers be the tricks sometimes.
Yeah. But
You guys do drugs at all?
We drink
Just me.
alcohol every day.
You need to drink just to deal with this?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, no, I don't have to drink to do this, because if I had to do that, then I shouldn't be doing it. But
You shouldn't be doing it.
yeah, I shouldn't be doing
You
it.
should
But
not be
you know,
doing
but when I drink, the money come faster because I get more open.
More relaxed.
Yeah.
not only that, but that's our type of fun. Like, you know, we gotta enjoy ourselves too. And like,
Do you find this enjoyable?
no, like in the sense we
Yeah.
drink. Well, I mean, yeah,
It's the adrenaline rush for me. It's the
A
fast
lot of
money.
girls seem to be like enjoying it.
I do. Sometimes I don't, but most of the days I do. Like if it's a slow day and you got to stay down all day to catch one fucking date, I'll be like, fuck, I ain't doing this no more.
How'd you guys get into this? So you
Money.
Jasmine, you're young. How old are you?
17.
You're 17. And Jayla, you're how old?
22.
22. So you're both young.
Yeah.
How'd you get into it, Jasmine?
Word of mouth from friends.
But where are your parents?
Did they doing their own thing, I guess. They don't really. I don't know. I got kicked out, so they don't really,
You got
worry
kicked
about
out
it.
for doing what?
For
prostitute.
well, I mean, not really wanting to conform to. It's a misconception that people or parents want you to follow exactly what they do, and
They don't want you to live parents don't want you to live your own life. They want you to do what they want you to do, and
or
it's our
believe
life.
what you want to believe.
Yeah, but you're a teenager. You don't quite know what you're doing yet.
Yeah, but you got to bump your head.
Yeah, but you don't have to become a prostitute to figure out
Not
what's right.
necessarily,
Yeah,
but
but
I
when you
mean,
don't
you
got nobody
shouldn't put
looking
your
out
kids
for
in a
you.
position either to feel like they have to turn to something like that or do something else other than be in the comfort of their home with their parents just because they don't believe in something or because they don't feel or agree with what you agree on. Either way,
Well, your parents were strict?
yeah, and they're religious. So it's like if I don't feel, I don't say I don't believe in God because I do, but it's just like I don't believe in church and stuff like that.
Yeah, like,
'cause
why do we got to go to church to praise God?
the pastor is
Don't talk to me about that.
yeah, the pastor is getting it on in the prayer room with Miss Shirley and Miss Anna Mae, and you showing up to church every Sunday and Wednesday and putting money in this basket, and half of the people in there is fake. And
almost pastors too be pimps, and they just be changing their lives around. They be pimps, drug dealers, crackheads, and then they change their life around
I've heard this.
and think that they
and
can
pastors
judge
be
the next
tricks
person.
too. Pastors be tricks too. So
Yeah, I've heard that too.
yeah, so that's why it's like, why would I? Whatever I do, whatever I believe in, however I carry about my life, that's gonna fall back on me. But that doesn't mean that as our family or parents, whatever, should separate yourself. If you can't accept me for how I am, then what's the point of being around? You just put yourself in a category with everybody else in the world. You should see the difference. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
You have a good head on your shoulders, Jasmine.
Thank you. But I mean, it's true. It's just the truth. Like, it's just like I shouldn't have to. My parents didn't always believe in that, and they changed their mind about whatever. My parents used to do whatever. My mama used to be whatever. My dad used to be in the streets too. So it's like,
Nobody got no room to judge nobody in this world. Because at the end of the day, everybody got to answer to one person.
JLo, tell me about your childhood.
I mean, my mom, she was just in the streets. She was young. She had me at 19. My daddy, he just been in and out of jail. So it was just me, my grandma. And then my mom had my sister. And then we moved back with her, but she started getting beat up by her boyfriends and stuff. and she was like letting them touch on us and stuff like that. So we moved back with my grandma. Then I started doing pills real bad, and I was like, I can't do that no more. And then I came down here, started doing this.
Where are you from?
Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa. Hmm. You make good money doing this?
Most days, but it is some days where it's slow.
Yeah, it's just anything.
There's good and bad, 50-50 with everything. It's like
It's a dangerous job, though.
Definitely
Yeah,
dangerous.
for sure.
There's girls dying out there, getting
Mhm.
shot, getting hit by cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just told me you
I was
you
about
seen
to
the
say
girl
that, yeah.
get hit by the car when we was on
Yeah, I
68.
had just
69th.
on 69th, like maybe 3 weeks ago, I seen a girl get hit by a car and she like flipped in the air.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, somebody that I interviewed got hit by an ambulance a while back, and she just passed away.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Like 3 a.m, she's out there working, and ambulance came around the corner and took her out.
That's crazy. Yeah, things be happening, and then that's the thing about it too. Is like the streets are the streets. That regardless of what it is, you could be selling drugs, selling pussy, doing whatever. The streets are always gonna be like a jungle. That's just what it is. All hours of the night, random things can happen, and sometimes even in the middle of the night, like you said, 3, 4 in the morning, it goes unnoticed. It'd be a little bit of us or a lot of bit of us outside, but we the only ones that know. That's why even sometimes the police be coming to us and be like, "Hey, did you see this or did you hear about this?" Because we are more around.
You're the eyeballs on the
Yeah,
street.
we're more around than
But
anybody
the
else.
police, the only thing I don't like about the police on FIG, they have come harass you when you don't even need to, when ain't nothing going on. But as soon as something happened to a girl or anything that's dangerous happened to police, ain't
Yeah,
nowhere
nowhere
to be found.
around. Mhm.
Nowhere ever to be found. But let the police see you get in the car.
Yeah, but they cruise by, and 99% of the time they're not doing anything to you.
I mean, if they pass by
They can
and
put you
they
in jail every
see-
night of the year.
No, I mean they not necessarily because they do have different laws in place now. Like with the whole
Prostitution.
yeah, like I heard some girl told me that they passed a law that you cannot take somebody to jail off the street because of what they're wearing and stuff like that. If they're not like completely naked type shit or something like
Yeah,
that.
but it's pretty clear what you guys are doing out there.
Yeah, but they just tell
What
honestly,
that's
if we're
supposed
not
to
talking
mean?
to a car,
You guys aren't.
I mean,
We ain't
yeah.
disguising nothing.
You ain't hitchhiking.
No, for sure. But it's like they're not like that.
We was this morning.
Shit. Yeah, we really they if they see us just all standing there talking and shit, like they'll just pass by us. Some of them that are a little bit more serious will be like, get on the curb, like get on the sidewalk. But
So you got some fucking dickheads that just want to really get a date, but they can't fucking get a date.
yeah, some
They
of the
wanna
police
take
be
you to
driving around
jail.
because they be like
What's the weirdest thing you've seen from tricks on the street?
from
It's a lot of
tricks.
shit.
Oh my
A
god.
lot of them cruise by. They don't have any money in their pockets.
Some chicks pull up talking about can they just eat your booty? Like what? It was this one trick. He just wants you to kick him in his face.
Kick him in the face.
Literally.
There
Like
be
not
chicks
kick him, just
driving-
like mush him like
Yeah,
like, that,
like-
like in his face.
You can do that.
There be tricks. There be all kinds of tricks. There be the window shoppers. They be the nasty motherfuckers that pass around jerking off their dick. There be ones that want to do freaky shit like
No condom,
no
girlfriend
condom,
experience.
eating pussy, all that shit. Or there's the chicks that try to negotiate too much, and there's the chicks that got the money and be like, all right, let's go, and drop you back off, and you just like, thank you.
And then it's the
that's your
chicks that
favorite.
want to kidnap
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and then there's the chicks that want to kidnap you and kill you. Like it's a pyramid, a long pyramid of all the men out there are just different. Like everything is gonna be different. No experience
Then
is
there's
kind
some
of the
chicks
same.
out there, they got like short people fetishes, pregnant girl fetishes.
Mhm.
Guys are weird.
Yeah.
There was one time where some guy asked me and my friend. He was like, "Oh, if I take both of you guys and we do like a double, can you guys smoke cigarettes while we do it?" And I'm like,
Smoke
"What?
cigarettes.
Like, what I look like Marilyn Monroe right here? Like, get the fuck out of here!" And I don't even smoke cigarettes. Like, no. I'm like, dude, what are you
Doing a
asking
date
me?
while smoking cigarettes.
It's
By the time I go back
crazy.
outside, I'm gonna be smelling like a pound of Newports.
Yeah,
No.
like no, that's crazy. But they just ask for weird stuff. There's some men that like to be hurt too. They like for
like pain.
the pain. They
Oh, yeah,
like one guy was like
They're gonna be walked like slaves and shit.
paddled on their ass till they bleed. Weird shit. So I'm
Look
so
at his
serious. I'm so serious. Imagine how easy it is for us to say is because of how much we heard it already. It's
What do you guys think of men after doing this for a while?
that's why we don't like us as hoes. We don't believe in fucking marriage and all that other shit because
because all
they
these tricks
all
that don't fit is
married.
married. But they'd take their wife car. They would pull up and you'll know it's a girl car. And
With they
still
blinged
wanna
out
date.
steering wheel cover, and she got
Or they'd be like, make sure you get the condom wrappers because my wife.
or
my
if you
kids.
smell like weed or something, they don't want you to get in the car because the weed smell's gonna
Or
be in there, or
perfume.
perfume, or they just be weird. Like I've had motherfuckers answer their wife while I'm in the car. Like it's just crazy. Like, or imagine the people that are asking to eat your ass or eat your pussy
It's
and
this
go
woman-
home and kiss their kids.
It's this woman
No.
on Fig. It's him and his teenage son. He bring his teenage son every night on Fig after his wife go to sleep. And they just ride on Fig all night.
And he gets a date for his son?
No, they just be riding around looking. But why are you bringing your teenage son to the Blade with naked girls? He's supposed to be getting ready for school.
Or something, yeah. Like there's been guys too that they come and like one time he was like, oh, like my son, I think he said he was 16 or 17. He's like, I'm trying to get a date for him, like for him to get some head. And I'm like, are you so fucking serious? We're looking at this man and I can't even get no words out my mouth. I'm like, all right. I'm like, can you just go? I'm like, just go because this is making me uncomfortable.
But what really, really make me uncomfortable is like when we out on Fig and the kids is getting out of school.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't like that. I just be feeling like that's too disrespectful on my part to let little kids see me like that.
Yeah. We usually go like to the store or something, or like to a liquor store, or we'll go get something
Sit
to
in
eat
Burger
real
King
quick. Yeah,
until they get done.
done.
Out of
passing
school.
the-
Right.
Yeah, because
So
it's
you
like
just go out of sight for a little while.
yeah. I mean, it's not that long.
It's just a respect thing. Like,
Yeah.
should no kindergarten be walking out of school, seeing a girl ass naked, standing on the corner in high heels? Now she looking at her mama like, is this what we do?
Yeah.
Like no.
Yeah.
What do you think the general public doesn't understand about what you guys do?
That we doing it for a purpose. Or like, it's the meaning behind it. It's not like that we just.
Why are you doing it?
This is how I look out for my grandma. I look out for my sister like this.
Are
I
you
look out
supporting
for
them?
me.
Yeah, it's really just a way to make money. If the way to
Everybody got their own hustle. Like they got
if
their
cutting
9 to
grass was the
5.
way to do it, you guys would all be holding lawnmowers.
Yeah.
But that's
Pushing
another
limits.
misconception about it too, is that there's a lot of people that think that like that a lot of us got here because we wanted to be fast or on drugs or whatever. A lot of girls that I met outside are in school as they do this, or they got LLCs, or they're trying to be lash techs or nail techs or have business or supporting their family. Not all of us are out here cracked out. Like that's
Or
not,
just giving our money to a pimp. for
yeah,
no
or
reason.
like just
You guys
being
have
out here
pimps?
for fun.
You do?
But it's like, I don't know. That's just like a really big misconception, and I don't like that for as a whole for everybody. Like
I hate that for us.
I hate that for us because they think that we're just all like retarded or something, like we're stupid, or we're just out here just to be out here for
no
to be
reason, just to be fun,
drinking and
just for fun.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
sitting out here half naked, standing on the corner just for the hell of it.
cold as fuck, feet burning as fuck. And I'm just like, hey, like, no, this is not the kick it. This is not the hangout.
This is not the kick it. This
Yeah,
is not the. This is
like-
not the fucking boom boom room.
Yeah, it's like they were like, yeah, we're gonna make the best of it. And of course, we're not gonna be standing there all Grinch faced out. And of course,
I do sometimes.
Yeah, but we'd be happy to see each other and be, hey, girl, whatever, and that's all cool. But it's like, don't get it fucked up. I'm not here for you to just be staring at me, or just for, you feel me? Especially too, like in the daytime when we're out there, like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, the sun is out, and it's a lot of going home traffic on Fig. A lot of men will see us, and also too, a lot of the ladies will see us, and they'll laugh or whatever. But it's like, okay, you didn't hit this type of experience in your life, and good for you, but don't do that. That's not cute. And,
That's not cute.
and we're not doing that, because it's like, you see how we have some type of consciousness for respect. I would like it to go both ways because you know.
Yeah, I just feel like that people just feel like just because we hoes that they don't gotta respect us. And baby, I'm still human. I still got feelings too, like everybody else. And now I still punch you in your mouth like anybody else will. So respect me.
Mm-hmm.
Your relationship with your pimp is good?
Real good.
There's no problems with it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because
I
pimps
mean, everybody got problems.
well,
but...
pimps have the worst reputation next to pedophiles in the world.
What you mean by that?
Well, like so many people love to hate pimps.
I mean, yeah. I mean, a square one understand pimping and hoeing.
What does squares not understand about it?
Everything. The whole game.
But squares don't understand anything about it.
Yeah,
And they don't
like,
understand,
they don't
how a
understand.
pimp could possibly be helpful.
I mean, it's like that
Because
where
they don't come from the hood.
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to. That's not
A
necessarily.
lot of pimps don't come from the hood.
That's not necessarily what it means.
No,
though.
You could be a pimp.
I'd be
And
a
you
good pimp.
and you wouldn't come from
Kenny Red told me I should be a pimp.
and like you wouldn't be like a bad pimp, but just because you a pimp, just because you're in that category, everybody gonna be like, oh, he hit on his
No, but
girls, he don't feed them.
If you say you're a pimp, you're guaranteed to be hated by 99% of the world.
Yeah.
But that's it goes hand in hand with hoes too. The moment somebody finds out you're a hoe, that oh, she dirty, she this, she that, ooh. But that's the whole thing. A lot of people see the bad side of pimps because they let a lot of motherfuckers that like to call themselves pimp make a face for this. Their videos go viral, being stupid, hitting bitches, all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you think the motherfuckers that are really utilizing their time and the money that's being given to them is out here making an ass out themselves? No, they behind the scenes really doing shit. So they don't give a fuck. I know what I'm doing for me and who I got with me. And that's all, because there's a lot of girls that are very, very taken care of, very, very well taken care of. And they, even if it is the situation that it is, they don't have to sit here and beg. They're not getting beaten on, very well fed.
Then there's some bitches that sit outside and that they get beat up, have to stay outside for 2 or 3 days, nothing to eat.
But they still be with the same person too. So does that now at that point, they could say
That's
that
on the hoe.
Yeah, they could say that the pimp is bad, but it's like somebody that's addicted to drugs giving them more
Yeah, but
drugs.
some of the pimps are really bad dudes.
They are, yeah, some of them are. Yeah, they for real are.
50%.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. It's like hoes that take this serious and then hoes that don't. It's
Yeah.
like,
But I've known some that are really like trying to help, but they
yeah,
you have to understand we're going to college, going to nursing school, doing whatever is not really an option once you're doing this, and you have a hard time handling your money, which is pretty much 99.9% of
Wow, we
you
got
girls.
the pimp.
So the pimp comes in and handles your money for you.
Yeah.
but yeah, or also too, sometimes it be like that sometimes they could be like older than us or more experienced than us. So sometimes we leave our parents' house young, like myself, and just don't know how to get into credit cards or get in an apartment or stuff like that. It's a process to that, and ain't nobody gonna tell you how to do that for free either. You feel me? Like,
You're 17.
mhm.
You're
So-
incredibly level-headed and intelligent for 17.
You got to when you in this
Yeah.
type of life. You can't be out here being a dummy because then something bad to happen to you.
It's just that I kind of
In this life, you grow up faster than what you should.
yeah.
You mature
exactly
faster.
right.
You got to. Because if you don't, then your mama would be putting you 6 feet under.
Mhm.
You guys ever been in love?
Back when I was a square, yeah.
Is that ever going to happen to you again?
No.
Never. Love is off the table now.
Yeah, because seeing this, you say you love somebody, but you still going out here and pick up a random girl to have sex with her. You're not gonna do that to me. But I could just be the girl that you having sex with and give me your money. See?
50-50, heads or tails. But hey, it's true. It's like we won't say it just how we say not all pimps are bad. Not all men are bad. There's some good men out there.
And
but,
this, you got to play chess and not checkers.
That's right.
but
That's what I say.
we don't got enough heart no more to figure that shit out. That shit gone. For real. Asking a girl to eat her ass. to eat her ass and then going home and be like, hey honey,
To your
I'm
kids.
home. It's
That's
crazy. Like you got booty lip now. And
You got booty lip
and
now.
I can't trust you. That's
what,
crazy.
What hoe is even letting a trick pull up and put their mouth on them? That's crazy. That's
And
nasty.
then like that's exactly another reason why it's like how you said that there's some bad pimps and they give a bad look to all pimps. There's nasty, dirty hoes for real that give all of us a bad look. Cheap hoes that give all of us a bad look.
What's cheap?
Like 50, how you saying? $50, $60. And then they come into us talking about heels don't even cost that much. Heels is
These was 85
and
at
up.
sluts.
85 and up. The outfits that you see that are bedazzled out, whatever, you go to Hottie's, sluts, whatever, $60. That fucking jacket, she has another one that's a fur jacket, $60 out the door. So you telling me you're paying me enough for a fucking jacket? Get the fuck out of my face. Like, seriously, like.
She just got mad about
Yeah,
that.
I did because really, okay, you go to the strip club,
if you want to throw petty ass change, go to the strip club. If you want to sit there and throw $2 here and $1 there, the next hour, go to the strip club for that.
Yeah, but not even that though, because there's some girls that do both outside. You feel me? That they're strippers half the time, and then they'll go outside at night, whatever. But I've heard that they'll be in there too, like pressing them, like, are you gonna throw money or not? Like, these are places of money. The Blade is a place of money. Strip club, place of money. You could go to, like, you go to Vegas or something, and I've heard that you gotta have at least $300-$400 for girls out there. So it's like, what's the difference? Because we on Figueroa, and because the last bitch.
I know it's because we stand outside.
That's what I'm saying, and it's like that's not. It costs money to be a hoe too. It's not. Our rooms are $150.
140 every day. For
140 every day for
night.
the room. A day. That's just off
And
rip.
you guys are sharing a room?
Mm-hmm. So it's
I
like,
pay for it one time, like for a week, and then she'd pay for it the next week.
Yeah.
And you guys share a bed, or what do you do?
It's 2 separate beds.
Just 2 beds.
Yeah. But it's like that too. It's like, you feel me? That's the whole thing about it, is that that's off the rip. Like, people don't understand that. Be like, oh, you guys probably make a lot of money, but we spend a lot of money too. It's like we
spending more than we make.
Yeah. I like my nails is not done right now, but you see, like, you gotta look, you got your hair done, you get your nails done, you got an outfit, you gotta do, and you can't wear the same shit every day. So I'm going to sluts, I'm going to Hotties, I'm going to Sloss and buying a box every day. Or we got to get a Uber to, you see where we're at. It's a little distance from Figueroa. So it's like, got to get an Uber, got to eat. We don't got a kitchen, so we got to buy
Mama
food.
loves to eat.
Yeah.
I love to eat.
Yeah, and good food. We don't like the Burger Kings and the Carl's Juniors and shit. We trying to eat good.
What's your dream? Where would you like to be in 5-10 years?
With a business. Business.
Like what kind of business?
I think probably anything in beauty. That really goes up, like hair, nails, skincare, or maybe even in cannabis type shit, maybe even have a weed shop, a dispensary.
You guys will just have this interesting story about what you did when you were
younger.
Mm-hmm. So, it's just, and that's the whole thing too. Like, it's like with bitches that are strippers. I've seen, there was a beauty supply I went to that it was 3 girls and they were all friends. They met in the strip club and they opened up a beauty supply and they all work in there now. So, but you could tell that they were strippers because, like big ass booty and all that, it's giving stripper, but they got their business though. They did something, they got something out of it. It's not, I would hate to be like, oh yeah, I was standing on Figueroa for 10 years and
I'm still here 10 years later,
or like barely scraping through. That'll suck.
I don't want to be one of them girls that be like, oh yeah, I've been with this pimp 1 whole year and you don't even got a house, no apartment, no nothing. And he's still beating you up. You don't even eat every day, babe.
Yeah, like.
How is that?
Or I've seen you in the same outfit for 3 days.
And why are you trying to even bring bitches to that fucked up situation? Like, get on.
Yeah, like it's a lot of different things because there's girls I've met a girl out there and she's pushing like 30, 35. She said she started when she was like 20.
I interviewed a woman who's 66 on Fig. 66.
We saw a lady last night, didn't we? Remember coming out the smoke shop? It was like an older lady with pigtails.
Oh yeah.
She looked like she was like 60, 55, 60.
And she had them heels on.
Yeah, she had these little
That was probably Linda.
girl. She had these little wedges on, these little wooden wedges.
That Mexican lady. Okay.
Oh, let me not laugh. I feel fucked up. But hey, you feel me? And then a lot of the ladies out there, like I
And
know
them older ladies too, that would be the ones that be taking $40, $50, $60 just because they be like, oh, that's money. That's not.
What
no
about
money.
doing something like OnlyFans or stripping or something like that?
I
OnlyFans,
just
you
gotta
gotta
get
build
into-
it up.
yeah, I
you know,
gotta-
it takes time. It's like content. You gotta build up subscribers. You gotta build up people that want to buy it. It's not impossible, you know, but this is like I could step outside and get a date right now, you know, type thing.
Be outside only for like
The
5,
strip
6
clubs be
hours
slow,
and already
too.
got 2,500.
The strip clubs be slow too, cause you gotta go up in there. You gotta pay your house fee. Like you
Just
got,
like
you gotta give money.
The owner of the strip club is your pimp, basically.
Yeah, he gets a you gotta pay for your like I guess your spot, and then sometimes it could be empty as fuck. So you gotta bring money with you already to pay for your time to get up on the stage. And if you make $3, well now you leaving with fucking $3 and your ass out. Yeah, but
So now,
but it could be the same on Big too.
So that sound like now all these bitches on Big gonna be leaving with $60 in a wet ass. What do you get out of that?
Girl, like damn, but that's what I'm saying. Like I'd rather sit there and say, and that's just because it's not only, how do I say this? It's not based off of just for myself, my own personal preference or where we want to keep a high standard, you feel me? But what would I look like calling her friend or anybody else that I know friend and setting the standard and making it hard for all of us that now I'm doing a $60 date. And now they're going to expect that out of all. And then now whoever I dated for $60 is going to see me with them and think they do that too. Cause
And now I'm
they
not
my
being her friend
friends.
no more because she doing $60 date.
And it's like, I can't, you are who you hang around with, and I'm not a cheap bitch. So why would I hang around with cheap bitches? Like they'll be like, somebody will ask me like, oh, will you do it for $60? And I'll be like, no, sorry, babe. Like go get some more money and come back. What about your friend? What about my fucking friend? What about her? Because why would you ask that? Like, literally, some guy
her off.
Because some guy, when was it? Yesterday or the day before? Some guy he pulled up in this gray truck and he shouted it to all of us. Y'all won't do nothing quick for $60? And she says $60 is crazy, babe. And we all like saying the same shit, like saying it loud and proud. And we're all looking at him like, boy, put that shit in your tank and take your ass home. Like, you know, like for real, put that shit in your tank and take it home because it's like, what is that? No.
$50 is $60 is not even enough to feed me and her 2 times a day, let alone one.
That's not even half of our room. Like, come on, be for real. Like,
are you guys saving money?
Yeah, I mean, you got to.
Do you have a bank account?
I got a Chime account.
Yeah, something like that. Like
I need
Chime,
a bank
Venmo.
account.
Yeah,
but I don't got like a bank.
But like, if you have your Chime account, how much do you have on it roughly? Not enough.
I don't feel like it's enough. Nowhere near $10,000 yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Nowhere near
Doing
up
what
there.
you're doing, you should have 30,000 in there at least.
Yeah, but it gets sometimes. That's why it's good to move around and stuff like that. Because sometimes it's like, for example, right now that Fig been dry, it's like sometimes then you got to start tapping into your money, and then, you know, that's how you try to wait it out and try to give the spot a little bit more time, and then you're like, fuck, I'm kind of tapping into this shit too much. Now it's time to move around. But the bank account shit is a little bit hard too, because you got to have an address for real, like a house address.
Yeah, you guys don't have addresses.
Yeah, and she's from hella far too, so I mean, it would be a long ass process, but that's why it's cool that they have Cash App cards, and you even have saving accounts, Apple Pay, saving accounts on Cash App, Venmo, Chime, PayPal, all that shit is cool. But yeah, we're not saying, you know, we're in the best part or best position that we could be in, because.
But what I am saying is I'm not struggling. I don't want for shit.
Yeah. But everybody could always improve.
Do better.
Yeah, improvement is never a limit.
I got a lot of stuff I need to improve on, but I'm not hurting for nothing.
Yeah.
But like learning how to save my money more than I do, and don't think just because as fast as I made it, I can spend it and make it back. I can't have that.
Now, learning how to save money is something that very few of you girls understand.
And I
Yeah.
don't understand it at all.
Yeah. I feel like it's not even an understanding, it's an urge. It's like a lot of us too that didn't grow up with shit. Now that we got money, we're like, oh, let's go get what we want. Like, I'd be like,
Pretty
damn.
much every girl that I've seen, if they have money in their pocket, that means they get to spend it.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. A lot of us didn't grow up with shit. So now, you feel me? We go get our nails done, hair done. We feel good. We get what we want and like buy what we want. And that's
Then you got a nigga taking care of you that y'all not even in a relationship. When you was a square, the person that you was in a relationship was
wouldn't
supposed
even
to
buy
be
you a
taking
damn
care of
taco.
you. Barely buy some tissue for the fucking house.
Mm-hmm. Like that's the whole thing about it too. Like some girls would be like, oh, well, I don't sell my pussy, but baby, you maintaining a man at the house and he's sitting up there playing 2K and you just came back from a 12-hour shift. Baby, you are the trick at this point. Like, I would rather be selling my pussy, getting money, doing something than being in a situation like that. Like they're headed the same way, living minimally, doing smaller shit. Or girls that are squares too, they get beat up. They have nothing.
You think prostitution should be legalized?
Yes. Because I mean,
that's a lot of to keep a lot of more girls out of trouble, because a lot of girls got a petty ass prostitution cases when it shouldn't be like me. But it's
but that's the thing too. As much as that's a misconception too. Like a lot of girls are doing this willingly. A lot of girls didn't. Most girls that I've met didn't even get introduced to this by a pimp. It's word of mouth of friends. Like
I need some money, and they friends like, bro, let's go on Fig.
There's a Blade. I told you I'm SGV area. There's a Blade in Pomona. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you meet somebody in Pomona, but the people in Pomona could be from Fig. They could be from Western. They could be from Vegas, what is it, OC area. All like you get people from different areas, and they'll tell you about other blades, and you'll be like, oh, okay, now I know about this next blade. Now I'm over here. Like,
now you're too intrigued with it to get out now.
No, now it's like once you look at one night's worth of money on a good night, you'd be like, man,
I'm coming back tomorrow.
Man, sign me up. I'd be like, and I'm here tomorrow.
Lock me up and throw away the key.
But it's like, but for sure, if it is like, it was a good option for a situation that we like any of us were in, but we wouldn't push anybody to do it. Like, in the sense, if you're younger and you have an opportunity to go to school and really be successful a cool way, do that too. Just because we do this doesn't mean we shame other things.
And any kids at home, minors, stay home. Yeah, please don't.
If you have
this
the
not
choice
the life you want to do,
stay home. Yeah,
it do get hard sometimes. It do get depressing sometimes, but once you in this life, it's not no getting out.
And not everybody is cut out for this. So when we seem like we kind of waterproof, like it just beats off our skin, is because that's what you have to be that way. Because if you let everything bother you out here, you'll be 5150 by the time you're done. I'm so serious. Being out here and the way they talk to you and the way that it's the like
pimps pull up.
Yeah, pimps pull up. Some pimps pull up and be super disrespectful. You feel me? Or even with the things that happen to us, like, a bad date or whatever, that can really fuck up your mind if you don't know how to like process it. Be like, okay, like, I know this person did this to me, but some girls, they get to a moment where they blame themselves. What did I do wrong? There's going to be people like that everywhere. You feel me? So it's just like, you got to have a different type of thought process. But hey, not everybody's cut out for it, because I've people that have thrown in the towel, for real, gone the fuck back home. For real. I'm on my way home. Greyhound done.
All right, Jasmine and Jayla, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on your crazy lifestyle.
No problem. Thank you.
I hope you guys figure out something better.
For sure.
Or at least I hope you become millionaires doing it.
I hope
so too. Yeah, we hoping on the same star.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, fathers. Taking accountability for our daughters. That's what today's live stream was. And as you can see, when a father is not a part of their baby girl's lives, birth to 18 years of age, inconsistent, the world is waiting for them. Point blank, period, fathers. Point blank, period. Okay, fathers, another live stream. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being here. All fathers are welcome, regardless of your ethnic group, background, and or culture. I live stream once a week, fathers. Okay, fathers, it's another live stream. We're done. Kiss them babies, love them babies. Tell them you love them, show them you love them, validate them. Our baby girls need us in their lives, fathers, birth to 18 years of age. They do. Otherwise, they're subject to the world, and the world don't give a shit about our baby girls. Just doesn't, fathers. That's what it is. Okay, fathers. Mis amigos, la próxima semana. I'm out. Okay, fathers, I am out. I'll holler at you next week. Peace.